Are you? Hello and welcome to the Gooners Podcast. Oh, it always
Our
throws
usual
me off.
our usual smooth entry.
It is. That's what she said. Hey, we're breaking ducks today.
We are breaking a
We have
duck.
a new guest, first-time guest.
We do. We have a first-time duck-breaking guest who I will introduce in just a second. But Andy, it is National Pineapple Day today. I just want to let you know that. I'm not even making it up. Hashtag National Pineapple Day is twending on Twitter. It is National Pineapple Day. It is not National Pineapple on Pizza Day, however. So there's that. But
Turkish, if someone comes to you and says, "Here's a free pizza with pineapple on it," do you eat it or do you throw it in their face and say, "This does not belong on pizza"?
I'm eating that.
Fuck.
I'm eating that.
All right, this has been the Gooners Podcast. No, I don't know, man. This is we're supposed to be an Arsenal podcast, but it turns out we're actually just a pizza podcast that occasionally discusses Arsenal. But in any event, let's move on. It is National Pineapple Day, though. Turkish, it is your first time on the pod. Thank you for coming on with us. Many people know you from your appearances on AFTV Media. I don't want to call it the wrong thing. You also do some of their studio-based shows that we've seen. So you're multimedia maven. Andy and I were having a debate, by the way, about you. Hopefully you can settle it. I said, Andy, the guy is, his ancestry clearly is from Turkey. And Andy swears to me you're either from Guatemala or New Zealand. So, Andy's kind of dumb. I don't know if you realize that, but can you settle this debate? Can you settle the debate for us? No, we're also going to have, if he gets home in time, we'll have lead judges. He may or may not be eating chicken and soup during the podcast, but if judges joins us, great. But seriously, I told you before the show, Turkish, we officially met on Twitter this week, and in our very first contact, I broke one of my cardinal rules that I try not to break as much as possible, and I owe you an apology. So usually if I disagree with a concept or a sentiment from somebody that I don't really know that well, my goal is to debate it with them, to talk through it, to use reason and logic, and ultimately, if the person is being a twat, I will try to expose them as such. But I broke my rule because I went straight for the jugular and called one of your tweets.
We work backwards.
Yeah. 2 steps. Normally it's one step back and 5 steps, or 1 step forward and 2 steps back. We just started with the 2 steps back. But the good news is that reasonable people can take it private and work it out, and so I apologize for how I started off our wonderful relationship, but secondly, you're far from ignorant. I mean, which is the accusation, and I was really talking about a concept more than I was about you personally, but we'll get to that. Clearly from watching your videos and some of the background, you've been with Arsenal a long time. You were a student of the history of the game. Just right off the bat, I want to encourage anybody that, is interested, that isn't already subscribed to your channel. Go ahead and do that, because, you can back up what you talk about with experience. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Before we get started, I do want to mention that we are ramping up Gooners Vs Cancer. It's our annual charitable cause, and this year is going to be the best year yet. I'm really excited already, just from mentioning it, tweeting about it. We've already raised 15% of what we raised all last year, and we're getting a 2-month head start on when we started raising funds last year. So thank you to the people who have donated online. We haven't even ramped up any of our organized fundraisers yet. We got some great donations of exciting items coming from people who listen to the pod, people who you might know, and other people who are going to be giving items that we can bid on and raise a lot of money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We have an outstanding new logo that our friend Lacazette on Twitter, not Alex Lacazette, but a real good artist did. And it's real exciting. And we all still got the American tour coming up, where we're going to be talking about Gooners Vs Cancer a lot. So if you haven't heard about it yet, please visit GoonersVsCancer.com. You can donate funds. Doesn't matter how big, how small, if it's $1, £1, a Turkish lira, a shekel, doesn't matter. it all works, and it helps the cause, and it goes directly, not even through us, it goes directly to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Tax deductible for those of you who that applies to, I guess, here in the States. So enough about that. Appreciate it. And of course, you can also donate through Super Chats through the podcast if you want. There's that little emblem next to the smiley face in the chat. If you do that, every penny that we get from that goes to Gooners Vs Cancer. We don't keep a dime of it. YouTube does, though. So if you're planning on being super generous, do it directly through the podcast, not through the chat window. And that takes care of that. So let's start off about talking